welcome to Enjoy.
I'm Blair French.
And today,
we're off to enjoy the kitchen.
what do you enjoy? Come on. Hello and welcome to Enjoy. I'm your host, Blair French. Today we are rolling up our sleeves and headed into the kitchen. Not just one, but two. We're starting off at the Ranch Club at the Santa Lucia Preserve in beautiful Carmel Valley. And then we are headed to the legendary Ventana Inn in Big Sur. So come on along and let's enjoy. Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure.
I see lots of delicious things over here that you're going to be preparing.
Oh, it's that time of year. There's
What's on
so
the
many
menu?
things. Risotto today with wild mushrooms, some rainbow chard, and some seared scallops.
And we should also let the audience know that we are in your working kitchen, so we might be hearing lots of noises. That's real work.
It happens.
And I'm
every
sitting
day.
on your counter. Is that all right?
Well,
It's a little unorthodox, but you know.
yeah, we'll let it go today.
Thank you. Okay, let's get started.
Perfect.
All right, what do we
First today we're going to grab a leek. Okay, what I've done with the leek is basically cut it down in half, and then I rinse out in between the layers to get any sand or dirt that's in between, okay?
They grow in sand. They do
grow
get a
in
little
sand.
sandy,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So we're going to do the leeks. We got our risotto here, a little bit of chopped thyme, and then we're going to start really initially with searing our leeks off and our mushrooms in the pan, which is going to create our flavor for the dish.
Okay.
And then I'll take you through that process
right.
as we go.
Well, I'll just hang tight and watch you do your magic.
So first we're going to cut the top green part, the real deep green part off, and we're going to use that nice light green and white part of the leek.
Okay.
Not that the green part is bad, it just, the white part will hold up better in this risotto. So we'll start with the leek. So we're going to want to get our pan hot for just about 2 minutes, and then we will start to saute up our mushrooms and our leeks and finish with a little bit of garlic. A little extra virgin olive oil. And you'll see as the pan heats up, the oil will start to spread in the pan. And you don't want to quite take it to that point of smoking, because then you've gone too far with your oil.
Yep.
So while that's getting hot, we'll pop over here and cut up our mushrooms, okay? So these mushrooms here are a maitake mushroom. You don't really have to cut them in too small of pieces, because they'll fall apart as you cook them. They're pretty delicate.
Maitake.
Yeah. Or also called hen of the woods.
Okay.
Yep. It's basically an oyster mushroom.
I'm more
a type of
familiar with
oyster
that
mushroom.
one. Okay.
Yeah. So we got those prepped. Then we're going to grab the porcini mushrooms, which are really one of...
What an aroma.
Oh man, they're amazing. It's one of my favorite mushrooms. If you can't get them fresh, you can get them in a couple forms. You can get them frozen, which we have here, or you can also get them dry.
Okay.
So really you want to just cut this up. It doesn't have to be in any certain shape or form. You just want a nice chunk of the mushroom so that when I bite into that risotto, I'm going to get a little piece of mushroom and the creamy rice with it as well.
And you know, you say, oh, mushroom. That's a mushroom.
These, you know, everything is my favorite, and I always tell you when I'm cooking something. Oh, really?
We're cut from the same cloth.
Porcinis are my favorite today. Until something else comes up that I really like.
Me too.
So we'll start with the maitakes first. They hear that sound?
I do. That means
perfect temperature.
good temperature.
Now with a mushroom has a lot of water content to it. So you hear a lot of chefs talking, including myself, about you season everything from every phase through cooking. There's a few exceptions.
Okay.
So with a mushroom, if I add salt to that mushroom right now, it's going to pull all the liquid out of it, and I'm not going to get a nice sear and create that fond on the pan.
I learned something new.
It's going to give me flavor into my risotto.
Okay.
Now I'm going to hold off putting the porcini in because the porcinis were frozen, so therefore there's more liquid in them. So we'll put those in at the last second, because then they'll stick to the bottom of that pan.
There's a plan. I see.
But it's going to create awesome flavor. Okay? Yeah. Oh, I love cooking. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
I like that you love cooking. I love that you love cooking.
So now we're going to put our porcini mushrooms in. Again, you hear that sound, and that's all the liquid coming out of the porcini mushroom. Now we'll let that sit for a minute. Again, if I also keep stirring them and tossing and touching them, that'll also break them up and release that liquid.
Okay.
And then we'll end up with not a real good sear. So now at this point, I will put a little touch of garlic in.
I love garlic.
What would life be without garlic, you know?
It would be bland.
Yes. Then I'll throw the leeks in. We've got our leeks in the pan, we've got our garlic in the pan, the two different types of mushrooms. We're going to let those cook and set for a minute.
Okay.
Now the next step we'll do is we're going to add our arborio rice into it.
All right.
Now you can use a couple different types of rice. I got arborio today. Sometimes I use carnarole rice as well. Both are very good for this application of a risotto. We're starting to create that nice brown color on the pan. That's good.
That's taste.
Because when we deglaze that with our wine,
Yes.
that's all that flavor is going to come off the pan and work in and flavor our risotto with that mushroom
That's
flavor.
right. That's what you want to
And
see.
that's exactly what we're looking for.
Excellent.
Now I will season with a little pinch of salt and pepper.
Okay.
Now at this point we can see our leeks are wilting down, which means they're sweating out and we got that nice flavor. Now I could throw all this stuff just in a big pot with the rice and cook it out.
Yes.
And it'll taste like somewhat like a risotto.
Yes.
But you're not going to have these levels of flavor that we're creating in this pan.
Okay.
So we're creating the flavor of the mushroom, the leek, the garlic. Now put a little thyme in next. Now we're going to put our rice in.
Now, I think most people would find it odd that you're adding rice to a hot pan like this.
They
Is there a
are.
reason that you are adding it at this stage?
You know, it's funny you asked that question. That is a very
Really?
good question.
I'm pretty good with questions.
You want to coat your rice kernels with oil, and that's going to help you in the process of making your risotto.
I
Okay.
actually do this when I do my regular rice at home. I always put my butter in the pan and then
Yep.
I add my rice and I stir it and then I pour my water in.
There's something about when you coat the kernels of rice with
Yeah.
oil or butter that helps it cook better.
It does.
And in this process of making the risotto, I think it's very, very
Does it
important.
toast them at all? Is it
You don't really want to toast it too
Okay.
much. You can, but that'll add a different type of flavor to
Flavor.
your rice, and then your rice is going to cook a little
Okay,
different.
so we're just coating.
We're just coating right now.
Okay.
Now we're going to deglaze with a splash of white wine. Today I got a little Sauv Blanc from a local winery, Bernardus Winery.
Okay.
Now you'll see on the bottom of the pan,
Cleaning the pan.
it's cleaned the bottom of that pan, and then it's turned that nice juice all nice, like a light golden brown.
Yes.
You keep stirring the rice because we could just put the liquid over this, okay, and just cook it like a normal rice, like a rice pilaf or something like that. But then you're not going to get that creamy texture of a
So
risotto.
the creamy texture comes from the stirring.
Because if you think about when you're stirring, you're pulling all the little outside creamy parts off that rice as you stir and you put your liquid in, okay? Now we're not going to put a bunch of liquid in all at once. What we're going to do is put about 4 ounces, 3 ounces of here I got a nice mushroom stock that I made. When you see your pan, the spoon go through the pan and
Oh,
you see the
sure.
bottom,
Yeah.
that means it's time
The
to add.
streaks.
Yep, it's time to add a little more liquid to it. So that's the wine that we've cooked out.
Because if you didn't add liquid, it would just start to brown up like a
Right.
like a roux
it's,
almost or
yeah,
something.
and it's not going to cook. You need to the rice has to be submerged in that liquid.
That liquid. Okay.
But as you stir and you keep stirring, you'll notice through the process this will get creamier and thicker as
And
we
you've
go.
added all the wine that you want for this recipe. Now you're
Yes.
just adding the liquid from the stock. Okay.
Yep, exactly. You can see already how how your juice
Oh, I
around the
see.
rice is getting thicker
Yeah, the
already.
starch.
It's all starchy. That's all that rice cooking off and creating.
Well, you know, good risotto comes to those who wait.
That is true. And what I call it is risotto is a technique of cooking rice to me.
Okay.
You know, you can cook rice, but then if you make risotto, it's the technique of stirring and in the process of reducing your liquid down, and then
And pulling out the starch.
we'll finish it off in the end with a little butter and Parmesan cheese. So we'll grab a couple leaves of kale here. What you want to do is just sort of pull your hand down the back of the spine of the green. Now you can use the stem, which is very good. I won't in this dish because it needs to be cooked a little longer. We're going to give it a quick cut, just so it folds itself into the risotto, and it's not too big when you're eating the risotto and fall off your
Hang
fork.
off your lip or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes for a nice bite.
Now we're going to go over. We're going to take this over. We're going to put it into our dish. Make sure our heat is on. Fold it into the dish, and this will cook in literally in a couple minutes. So we're right at the end of that process. Butter. We love butter.
Butter is the best.
So put a couple pieces in. And again, this is a serving for about enough to feed probably 3 to 4 people. So we'll keep stirring and letting the butter melt in. And as you can see, it creates that nice, it sort of adds that final touch of that creamy liquid.
Oh yeah.
Now it looks like risotto. Now the cheese is dry too, so that's going to tighten up our risotto a tiny, tiny bit.
Okay.
So we'll finish. Yeah, a little more. Perfect. And we'll stir that rice and cheese in. And then the aromas and the smell. Do you smell that? So good.
Wow, that's really, the aroma has really
You get the
come up.
smell of the cheese, the mushroom,
all of it, the butter,
those flavors.
everything. Well,
Now
it smells good. You know, it tastes
now
good.
we've got risotto, so I'm going to turn the heat off on that and let it sit. So today we're going to do a couple scallops and a couple shrimp. We'll season with a little salt and a little cracked black pepper.
Oh, that pan is nice and got a good heat on that.
Nice heat, because we need that heat to sear. Now we're going to swirl our oil around.
Okay, I'm going to stand behind you.
We're going to put the seared side of the scallop down, okay? You can hear that sear? That's exactly what we want. And again, we don't want to sit and shake the pan and mess with it. We want that to sear and stay seared. And it's one of the...
That's the hardest thing to learn. Don't move it.
Yeah. You don't need a Teflon pan to cook in.
Right.
You know, that's... If you get your pan hot and you have your oil in your pan, 95% of the time, it's not going to stick.
Yeah, let it go.
And we'll move our oil around so our oil goes around our pan. And we're just going to let it sit. When we look underneath, we're starting to get that nice, beautiful sear. And if you notice, there's no liquid coming out of the pan.
No.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
And also, I'm always amazed at how quickly, I mean, seafood goes pretty quick. You don't have to cook it a long time.
You don't have to put it in the oven.
Yeah.
This scallop will cook in probably 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, shrimp as well.
Right.
If you cook it too long, then it's going to become real rubbery.
Yeah.
I like personally to eat my scallops medium rare to medium. You know, a little bit, tiny bit underdone in the center. I think it has better flavor that way, and the texture is definitely much better.
And the contrast between the caramelization on the outside and that creamy inside is nice.
Perfect. So now we're ready to plate. So take this over.
Oh, that looks so good.
Our risotto in our bowl.
Yum!
Now you could do this individual if you want at home, or
oh my word.
Do it family style in a big bowl with the scallops all over the top. So now we got our beautifully seared, scallops. I'm going to finish with a little chopped Fiend's herb.
What is that?
Fiend's herb is a classic herb mixture of chives, tarragon, chervil, and parsley.
Oh, that sounds like heaven.
And we'll just sort of place them randomly around the top.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my word.
Then we won't waste any
And
of that.
don't waste
Any of
any
that
of that.
juice. We'll drizzle over the top because that is flavor.
Jerry, this looks
that is it.
magnificent. Okay, thanks a lot, folks. I gotta go now.
Jerry, let's enjoy this together. There's a spoon for you,
Thank you.
a spoon for me.
All right.
Shall we
Ready?
dig in?
Let's dig
Yeah,
in. Let's
I
do
do.
this.
I'm going for a scallop.
Yeah, a little scallop. A little risotto.
I might regret this big bite, but I'm gonna try. Is it hot?
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Ready?
Yes.
One.
I'm dripping all over the table. Is that bad?
Go, go, go. Oh, really good.
Perfect.
I'm happy.
It was a big bite, and I don't care.
Yep, it's all right.
Oh, it's all right. It's fantastic. I have a spoon here for you too. So come on over and enjoy with us.